What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Big shout out and thank you to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this new Jeep for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below. And the model that we're looking at today is an Overland 4x4 finished off in diamond black crystal pearl coat and has an MSRP at $65,000. Underneath the hood, the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee features a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated 6-cylinder engine. This V6 pumps out 293 horsepower with 257 pound-feet of torque and is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This has a 4-wheel drive transfer case. Curb weight is around 5,000 pounds and it runs on a 23-gallon fuel tank. You're looking at 18 miles per gallon in the city with 25 out on the highway, and this can even tow 6,200 pounds. Overall length is 204.9 inches with the wheelbase at 121.7. Height is 71.5 and width is 77.9 inches. The Overland is extremely capable off-road with maximum ground clearance going up to 14 inches and breakover angle at 23 degrees. Approach angle is 30 degrees and departure is 24 degrees. And then now moving on to the exterior styling of the newest generation for the Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's a very muscular looking, luxury focused SUV. We get LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, and there's a nice bit of chrome trim running underneath the headlights into the grille. We have gloss black and chrome all within the 7 vertical slots within the classic Jeep grille, and I like how you can even see active grille shutters in back to improve efficiency when needed. You have a lot of nice body lines throughout the front bumper as well as an LED fog light. You have parking sensors all around, more chrome trim throughout the center along with chrome hooks. You can see more openings in the center as well to allow maximum cooling. And the front end really does come together nicely to give it a modern appearance. We have Jeep written out on the hood and then some sharp lines on the hood fading towards the windshield. I love the way everything comes together. And then as we move our way to the side profile, all of that body color from the front bumper even fades its way around these wheel arches. And then we get a set of 20-inch wheels in all 4 corners with a split 5-spoke design as well as a 2-tone color. You get a sharp body line running from the headlight all the way throughout the side profile. Down below the doors we get an American flag along with Grand Cherokee and then gloss black for these rocker panels. We even get a set of gloss black mirror caps. They have chrome trim around them as well as an integrated LED turn signal. More chrome trim running throughout the side of these windows and then all black trim for the B and C pillar. The door handles get body colored in chrome. Then up top we get body colored in chrome for the roof rails and then a full panoramic sunroof. Looking at the side profile, the Grand Cherokee L is a 3rd row vehicle, a little bit larger than the Grand Cherokee, but really nice sharp lines all around with a very proportional look. And I love how that sharp line cuts all the way into the taillights with a nice bulge for the rear fender to give it a wider appearance. And then that chrome trim from the side even cuts its way all the way around the rear glass. You can also see an integrated 3rd brake light up on top as well as your windshield wiper below that. Jeep is written out in chrome, and then we get a nice set of LED taillights. They're sunken into the bodywork just like we saw the headlights. We have the Overland badge on the far right with some nice body molding, camera right in the center with 4x4 and L over on the left, and then there's more chrome trim all throughout the rear bumper. It's all finished in body color with your parking sensors, and I love the chrome trim surround you're going to get for the dual exhaust. Overall, the new Grand Cherokee really comes together to have a fantastic style. So there's a good look at the exterior with the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Overland is a really good trim level, of course, and in black it looks super clean. We have Jeep's nice new key fob, pretty clean looking all around. Of course, lock and unlock, power liftgate, as well as the engine start stop. Going ahead and lock in the car. All you have to do is grab the door handle, it'll automatically unlock, and we can check out this interior. This Overland gets the steel gray leather interior with a little bit of black as well as some wood grain trim accents. Taking a look at the door panel, we get the smooth black leather up top with aluminum trim and a very nice satin look for the wood trim. We have the release handle with memory seating, some piano black with your mirror controls, window controls, and lock and unlock, a good sized grab handle, and then some nice padding along with contrast stitching. It has like an orange color to it. You can also see some storage down below and then part of the audio system. Then we get all of your power controls on the left side of the seat. Nicely designed. You get more of this orange stitching along with the steel gray leather, smooth on the sides, and then all perforated throughout the centers. Going all the way up these backrests, we even get Overland embossed into the leather, and then some nice piping on the headrests. And we get a black leather steering wheel with more stitching, some of that wood trim and silver trim, and then white stitching all throughout the center. And then now inside the Overland, keeping my foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. You get the center screen that'll turn on, as well as the full center. You can see right now it's a full digital LCD display. You can see your speedometer on the right side with the tachometer on the left. And then if I go ahead and use these controls on the left side of the steering wheel, we can configure what you see. So we have our digital speed readout right now. If I scroll up and down, you can see your tire pressure, and then going left and right, you can see a few more things that will come up, some vitals within the car. You have more information for trip A. You also have your terrain status, which is really cool to see, what mode you're in, how your suspension's doing, as well as all of your dynamics, pitch and roll meter. And then continuing down, you can see some audio controls, any messages as well. And then back up to this main screen. You can scroll left and right as well to see some driver's assistance, like your cruise control. And then on the right side of the steering wheel, we have all those cruise control settings with your forward pacing as well, and then some Bluetooth and audio controls. There's some small paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel. They're only about this big, however, underneath that, we have volume and radio. On the far right, you can see your windshield wipers, and then on the left, we of course get a turn signal stop. Left side of the steering wheel, we have all your headlight controls, as well as an electronic parking brake, more of that wood trim, leather, and gloss black. And then you get some nice leather and stitching all across the dashboard. Has a very nice design. We have a screen button right here to take a look at the screen on the passenger side. As you can see, we have HDMI outlets, you have video as well as audio. Then you can swipe left and right and see your camera systems, which is really good if you're off-roading. The passenger has that view. You also have devices, and then the passenger can control the navigation screen. We have more controls on the left side, and then more down below. You can adjust a few things. So it's a super cool setting to see. You also have your parking sensors, traction control, lane keeping, and then the engine start stop feature. And then we get a massive touchscreen display system. You can see climate controls where you can easily adjust your temperature using that toggle, fan speed down below that, all the different zones, as well as your heated ventilated seats, and then the steering wheel. We have your home icon. You can see all sorts of things from navigation to your audio. You can configure everything. We have media controls as well. The navigation screen for full screen will also come up right in the center. Then we have your phone integration, and then the vehicle where you can adjust a few things. You can fold down the third row, rear view camera, and then all the apps within the car. So really nice just how much information is in the screen, and it's super easy to use. We can go ahead and put it into reverse. We're gonna get that backup camera popping up right in the center with your parking sensors right in the center screen. Then if I go ahead and put us back into park, it'll all shut off. Underneath the screen, we do get physical climate controls, heated and ventilated seat buttons, all these different toggles as well as your zones. Then you have volume on the left and tuning and scrolling on the right. And then underneath that, you can open up this door. We get some storage space down in here along with different HDMIs, USBs, as well as more auxiliaries. And then underneath that, we have different toggles for your air ride suspension. You can easily toggle this up and down to go into the different drive modes. It'll come up with an arrow on that far right side, so you can easily adjust it from all the way down below into the highest mode. We also have your drive modes on the far left. You can toggle this up and down into different drive modes, and it even comes up with a pretty cool depiction up on top. And if I toggle it all the way down into sport, the suspension will lower. So very nice how everything is laid out. We have the drive select in the center, the four-wheel drive low, as well as the downhill assist. Then you can open this up and we get two cup holders with some nice ambient lighting. Behind that, we have more of that gray and orange stitching. We have a little bit of space right now. And then grabbing the second lever, you can see the entire bucket. So pretty roomy, pretty good sized space. We also have a pretty good sized glove box on the far right side. And then one last look at the interior. All three of the screens look very nice, and all the leather, it looks like a nice premium SUV. Jeep really did do a great job in just making this feel very premium. And then up top, you can see that full headliner for the panoramic roof. We have your controls up in front for the sunshade as well as the glass. You have the power liftgate, all your dome lights. You even get a sunglass holder up in front, your mirror, and then garage door buttons on the visor. And then moving to the rear seat space, if I grab the door and open it up, the rear door is finished off just like we saw up front with the same wood trim. You get automatic windows and the full speaker system. You have captain chairs back here finished in the same leather with stitching, and then you even get the armrest that will fold down nicely. These have a lot of configurations. You can pull this lever and get them out of the way. It's gonna make it nice and easy to enter into the third row. You can see the 2 seats back here, and then just grabbing that manually, you can then grab the recline lever and it'll fold it down, even put the headrest down and lock this nicely and flat. And then back here, you even get quite a few amenities. You have cargo nets on the back. You do get heated seats, all the climate controls, as well as your vents, and then a bunch of USB ports and some storage. So then sitting now in the back of the Grand Cherokee L, reclining these seats, you get a lot of space back here. Plenty of headroom, even at 5'11". With the driver's seat set at my height, plenty of knee room and foot room. I mean, this is a really nice place to be. Great for the family, ton of glass all around. Of course, with that sunroof opened up, you get even more light let in here. So it's a nice place to be. And there's even more air vents on the B pillar. So really nice amenities you get. And then the space in the center of these seats is actually big enough to walk into the third row. So it's a pretty useful 3-row vehicle. So sitting back here, the seats aren't too bad. The headrest, of course, will fold down. The legroom is pretty good when the seats are normal. This one all the way reclined makes my legs a little tight, of course. But we do get air vents back here, armrests and cup holders, as well as more USB ports. And then from back here, I can just grab these handles and lift the seat up out of the way and easily climb out. Back here, there's also power buttons you can press to automatically fold down the seats. You press them once, the headrests fold down, and the seats are gonna automatically get nicely out of the way. A very cool feature though, these buttons also bring them back up. So with just one press of the button, it's gonna automatically go back into the position. So then from there, we can just walk to the rear. Of course, the key fob, you can double tap it and open up this power liftgate. We do have a button back here as well. But in back, you can see with the third row up, it's just how much space there is. We have some of the cargo mats and things like that. But this is a very roomy third row vehicle with a ton of cargo. So there's a lot of space right now. You can lift this up and get some hidden space. And you can see with the seat down just how much more storage you're gonna get. You also have buttons back here for the second and third row. So if I take the second row button and press that, this one will fold nice and flat. And then just pressing the third row button, of course that one will get out of the way. So I really like, it's really smart that Jeep gave you these buttons. I think that's a really good feature to see. With them folded down now, you can see just how much more space we're gonna get, especially with those seats folded down. And then on the left side, we just press this button and the liftgate is gonna automatically close. So setting off now in the Grand Cherokee in the off-road setting, just hitting just a little bit of dirt. Now we'll go back down into auto mode. It'll automatically adjust the suspension and everything as I get up to some speed. Well, it's slowly accelerating now to feel out the overland and what it's like to drive this SUV. It's a pretty comfortable vehicle. Obviously with the air ride suspension, it's incredibly smooth, very quiet as well. And it just feels like a pretty nice SUV. I really just like how well-rounded these are. We have all the fancy cruise control settings, all that sort of technology in it. And I just like how it seems really easy to use, really easy to operate. You got a great visibility out the windshield with a huge piece of glass. All the mirrors do a great job. You hear a little bit of road noise, but right now we're on kind of a bad road. However, it's very insulated. There's no wind noise or tire noise or stuff like that. So pretty comfortable overall. Visibility out the back is pretty good, especially with those headrests that can fold down. So it's an easy vehicle to drive, and the fit and finish is really nice, especially on the Overland. All the leathers feel really good. The wood is just plastic, however, it does look pretty nice. So I think overall, for the price point and everything, it's a pretty good use of materials, pretty good blend of what you're gonna get, and it drives really smooth. The transmission and power plant are really nice to where they work seamlessly to where you can utilize all the power. Brakes do a good job as well, bringing this down to a stop. And if we go into the sport mode, just giving it some gas, throttle response is pretty peppy. Not trying to go too crazy high in the revs. Of course, it does ring it out a little bit more when you're in the sport mode. Going back into auto, the vehicle tones down a little bit. But overall, normal driving and everything, it really is just a nice place to be. And then as far as the technology goes, it's really easy to use it while driving. Touchscreen sometimes is a little finicky when you're like bouncing around, but the buttons are large enough to where you don't really feel that in this. It's just super simple and user-friendly the way you would expect it to be. So I like how the Grand Cherokee just has a really well-rounded driving to where it also doesn't feel too big. It just feels like they've really thought about everything. You can have a third row vehicle without being crazy big to where it's hard to park and hard to see around. So I think they really did a good job just making it something that's easy to use and an enjoyable SUV to drive. It doesn't drive like a truck, like a body on frame type of SUV. It drives like a luxurious Focus SUV. However, we have those capabilities like off-road settings, the sport, and of course the towing, and you don't really lose any of the practicality from being a third row vehicle. So then flipping around to my perspective, my honest thoughts about driving in the Jeep Grand Cherokee, I think it's a pretty well-rounded SUV, especially the Overland. The Overland is really, really nice, especially with all the leather, you know, the upgraded audio system. Just the fit and finish you're going to see in the Overland is really nice. It feels like it's a Mercedes, you know, some sort of luxury brand. So the fact that Jeep has made the Grand Cherokee an SUV that has so many different trim levels, all the way from just a basic one, a two-row vehicle, into the third-row vehicles, and then into the Overlands, which have so many nice options, I think it's a really cool touch. So I think they did a great job on these new SUVs to make it feel special. It drives nice, you know, there's no real loose ends to it. It feels like something that's worth the price tag and actually something pretty solid. And the fact that you get all these luxuries without losing any of that trail-rated performance, I think that's a really cool touch. So as we turn onto a little gravel road, obviously this thing can do quite a lot. So if I just go into the sand and mud, pop up the suspension a little bit, when you are off-roading in these, it's still stable. It feels really confident when you do hit bumps and things like that. And we've taken one of these off-road, and it is really good just how well everything is balanced. You can tell that this is a Jeep at the end of the day. You know, they haven't lost their heritage of being an off-road focused type of SUV. And with this, with all the drive modes and stuff like that, I mean, you can just do stuff. The four-wheel drive system is really, really good. So I like just the overall blend you're gonna find in one of these. I mean, hitting these bumps, it's just nothing. It really takes them well. And you know, you have the ground clearance for it, you have the power for it, and all of that. But then when you turn back onto the road, it becomes a luxurious Focus SUV with all the technology you could want. And it just feels like something that is very well-rounded. That's one of my favorite things with them. I think they just built everything to be very intuitive, easy to use, and it's just something you can comfortably drive without worrying too much about being some giant SUV. It's a really good size, the L. If you don't need the third row, the normal Grand Cherokee is a great size as well. But this one, for being a third row, definitely one of the best options out there. I think it's a really good choice. I think that has been it. Checking out the 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Overland, the L. Definitely a pretty sweet setup if you want a third row vehicle without getting into something crazy big like the Grand Wagoneer. But that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and then check out Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. Their link is down in the description. Thanks to them for providing this car for today's video. Definitely check out their website. That is it, guys. I'll see you in the next video.